Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to talk about Great Detective Little Leela, the new 100 cost physical DPS unit coming to our game tomorrow. And guys, look, she's going to be one of the highest accuracy units we've ever seen in the game. She's Dark Element, and I think she's going to be pretty good. So we're going to look at her stats, her skills, kind of do the overall picture here of how she's going to play out in the global version. And I want to start by comparing her to a recent other 100 cost physical DPS unit we got in Esther. Now look, I need to add Esther to my UR tier list when I redo it. When Esther came out, I predicted that she wouldn't be as good as Cloud. You guys, she might be as good as Cloud. She's almost as good as Cloud, if not as good. Is Leela going to be on that level? They're both 100 cost. Let's start with the stats to try and find out here. Leela's sitting at 3625 HP. Esther has 4732. So Leela has over 1,000 less HP. That is a drawback for sure. But attack 615 compared to 572. There's Leela getting one back on her. Both are very fast at 68 agility. If you look at dexterity and luck, call it a wash, but notice little Leela has 269 luck. Luck is a super important stat for trying to hit evasion units, which is going to be Great Detective Leela's specialty. She's a knife thrower, and she's going to be able to find those evasion units hiding behind corners and dodging around, and that 269 luck will help her on that route. Now, she's move 3, jump 2, which will be nice, and she comes in with 8 defense. Esther also came in with 6 defense, and definitely a theme of both of these girls is against physical enemies. They're not going to get one shot in most cases, so keep that in mind. When we look at their resistances, both are strong to slash. Leela's at 15 and Esther's at a very impressive 25. Esther also has 25 pierce, 15 strike, and 10 missile, whereas Leela has minus 15 pierce, which hurts, but plus 20 to strike, plus 10 to missile, and crucially, plus 5 to magic. If you're teeing off against light element, they oftentimes have some magic damage dealers mixed in that can go between, slashing and magic types. So a little bit of magic resist will be pretty nice there. And that's kind of how their stats compare. Now, we need to obviously look at the rest of her kit before we decide if she's going to be on that Esther level. But the lower HP is a little frightening, but Leela has really cool ways of getting around that. We'll get to that momentarily. We're going to start, let's go look at her TMR. Is her TMR by itself worth pulling for? The Moon Rainbow Battle Dress. I don't think so, although it is really cool. First of all, it's an armor, which I don't love. The stats on it are 380 HP, 8 defense, 10 accuracy, which is decent, and 15 crit evade. The buff is nice. It's a 25% agility buff that hits in a very large AoE. It has 2 casts, so this is something that, like in a Guild Wars situation, if you wanted to have, an agility buff put on your team by somebody, both fights on defense, you could pull it off with this. This is one of the better agility buffs in the game, for sure, because of just how big that AoE is. This is nice. It's nice. It's not S tier TMR, but it's good. Her master ability, she's got the HP and dark attack, of course, and then 15% attack. That's how she was getting that really high attack stat that you saw on the last page, and luck 15, which was how she's getting that high luck. Both of these lean into her killing evasion units. Okay, now let's look at her skills. Support abilities. This is where you'll start to see some accuracy come in for her. Improve your eyesight. This is going to be something you run on her every time, almost no matter what. It's going to give you 25 accuracy and 40 defense pin. This is an S tier support ability for a physical DPS unit. You just love it. This is like amazing. You just always equip this. Then your options become any of the next 4. Are you fighting pure physical teams and you want to be more of a bruiser? You have access to Paladin's Blessing. Do you want to go a resistance-based build? You have a slash and missile resist plus 12% buff. Okay, that's pretty good. Do you want to go just all-out accuracy? You can upgrade your strike counter from her monk sub-job while also getting 20 more accuracy. This is actually viable, especially because her strike counter might be her best counter move. More on that in a second. Or if you just want more HP and attack, if you just want the most generically, like I just want to equip something and forget about it forever, Fighting Spirit, HP and attack is never bad, so you could go that route. Now, when we look at her counter moves, here's what I meant, right? These are kind of just okay. Honestly, I think the best one on here is her burst counter from Pugilist. I called it Monk earlier, it's Pugilist. Pugilist better than Monk. It is a 2-hit, 1-range counterattack. However, if you run this accuracy with the skill upgrade from her support, it goes to a 50% proc chance, which is really, really high. And 165% striking damage, 2-hitter, that's going to hit pretty hard. So if she gets up there and starts trading at really close range, this could be a difference maker in a fight. Otherwise, if you're fighting physical, you could just go Paladin's Guard for that 20% chance for 45% physical damage reduction. And there you go. Now, her main job is nuts. Her main job is actually bonkers. So let's take a peek at it one by one. Her cheap move is called Numbblade, right? This is just Paralyzing Edge. That's what this is. It's Paralyzing Edge. You've seen it on a lot of other jobs. Her specialty is she throws knives. Instead of using a sword to paralyze you, she's going to throw a knife at you. I wonder if they updated the animation for that. I'm not sure. You can see her main job scales off of attack, dex, and 50% agility. That's a really interesting scaling thing there. So the faster she is, she's going to do a little bit more of that in damage. It's not a ton because agility is such a low number, but if you had like 100 agility, you do 50 more damage. Okay, that's something. Next up, we've got her first TP move. Her TP buffs are crazy. So this is a 50% chance in an AoE buff to her group. Okay, I'm going to start that one over. This is a group buff, 3 uses. 50% chance that the target's counter ability does not activate and recovers her own HP when less than 20%. Let's dive into this. So what this is, she can buff her group to give them a 50% chance of not proccing the enemy's Reflex, the enemy's Aeon Bond. Whatever reaction ability the enemy has equipped, she can reduce the chance of them activating it for her and her group by 50%. That's a huge deal, especially when you stack that with like Trust Stones. You can get another 20 from Trust Stones, and then you're at a 70% chance that you aren't proccing the enemy's counter, which is already a pretty low number anyway. This is going to make her even harder to dodge because things like Reflex just aren't going to trigger as much against her, and that is wonderful. So I really like this move. It also gets EX upgraded to increase the slash attack resistance penetration by 40 for her and her allies. Wow. So you run her with a Dwayne, Ruinstern, any of Dark's slashing units, Venera Shadow Links if you're going like evasion. Slash attack resistance penetration from a buff is really nice. And she'll get 20 AP back with the EX upgrade. Now, let's talk about this. Recover own HP when it is less than 20% for self. She's going to self-heal when she gets low health, right? If she gets knocked down below 20, she's going to heal. Check this out. We're going to skip down a little bit. She has courage in her main job. She has courage. So if you proc her courage, she's going to heal herself. Not only that, her courage gets her other EX buff and now includes 20% area of effect resistance for her. Yeah, really good. These two TP skills combo together insanely well. Now, let's look at the rest of her damaging abilities. She has an armor breaking skill here, which is a long range AoE attack with a 30 defense debuff on it, and crucially has plus 30% hit chance. So combining that with her other accuracy like passive abilities and her high luck, this is where she's going to be super hard to dodge. If you're giving her accuracy gear, if you're giving her accuracy Trust Stones, things like that, she's going to hit. And that's very important for a dark unit, especially if a dark unit is trying to like one-shot a bunch of light evasion or something like that. So this is a very important skill for her. I almost don't like how much range it has because I want her to get both her buffs off in a fight. Anyway, let's continue. She has another long-range big AoE move that dispels buffs, haste, physical damage, and magic damage barriers for target. Very, very nice. Good skill here. We already talked about her courage, and then her job level 25 ability dispels protect, does 200% damage, and decreases healing power by 70% for 3 turns for the target. A very good move at only 27 HP. If you want to run her in her main job sub-job, she does have another way of reducing slash resistance for the target. Right here, 165% damage, 38% slash resistance debuff. This is something that would be good for PvE, for example, right? You bring her in a dark chaining team, she can drop slash resistance for that target. Very nice there. Glossy Confusion, she has a confusion attack as well. It's a long range AoE attack. Medium range, let's say. Now, what sub-job are you going to run her on? You have a couple options. Paladin is another slashing sub-job, but she has her courage up here in her main job, so you don't need to get it from Paladin. really what you'd be getting here is a tracked blade if you wanted to run her as like a weird tank, which I don't recommend, and Saintly Wall, which is a physical damage shield. However, I don't think you really care about Saintly Wall because you're going to want her casting her 2 TP skills from her main job more than Saintly Wall, in my opinion. So I think you go Pugilist to get access to another damage type, Strike, which is one of the hardest damage types to resist in the game. And it scales purely off of attack. So it's going to hit really, really hard. She also has Human Killer 25 version, the one that hits in like the line-based AoE in front of you. I think that this will be one of her biggest moves, that she'll walk up to people and just be annihilating him with this attack right here. I mean, it's just huge. She also has her limit break that we can talk about. This is a defense penetration buff for herself, 200% damage modifier with a 67% chance to inflict blind on the target, and blind targets have decreased slash resistance 38% if she hits him with this. So that's really strong as well, especially if you're running her alongside some like dark evasion units. She can drop a blind on them, and then you can get to doing some dodging or things like that. So that's kind of the preview of Great Detective Little Leela. She looks pretty strong in my opinion. I'm definitely pulling for her because look, I don't love playing light. I do really love playing dark. Here, let's go full screen. Yeah, I'm just excited. She might be one of the first units that I like build within the first couple of days that I've gotten in a while. I've been slow building a lot of stuff. Maybe it's time to just do a quick build on her and see if I can get her like tearing up Arena next week and get her into Guild Wars, things like that. So that's the preview video, guys. Hey, remember, if you want to support the channel, one way to do that is becoming a member on the YouTube channel. And we've also got another bonus account review coming in after today's video. But first, I wanted to give a big shout out specifically to Adam, Chase, Githarnian, Darktide, and Shadow for being the newest members on the YouTube channel. All of them joined at that Saint of Eileen level, which is the top one, and I'm super happy to do an account review for anybody who joins at that level. That's the big perk, and I'll do it for War of the Visions or any other game that you want me to review. Even if I don't play the game, I'll look at your account. That'd be weird, but this is a War of the Visions review coming up next. Let's get to that, and just thank you guys for that support. It means a ton to small content creators. You guys are awesome. Account review next. And this is a really fun account to review because Gith here played at launch but quit the game. Like started it up, kind of played a little bit, quit, but came back right around the Persona 5 collaboration. Said he spent a little bit of money at that point and is just trying to get the account like going now. So let's take a peek at it. Now, I gotta say straight away, Elshra on the home screen, top tier. Great pick. Excellent MR unit. I love Elshra. She's really cool and she's pretty strong for an MR. Next up, here this looks like your main PvE team that you're running. Dude, a big shout out, Thancred and Lucio, getting them built up. These are your free units. Awesome job here. That's going to pay off. Taking advantage of the Thancred, who you could build for basically free, if not just a little bit of Viz. Lucio totally free, and they will work really well with Violet, who you said you came back for Persona 5. You've made progress with Violet here. Keep pushing her as much as you can. You got a Lilith and Ayaka coming in here. The Lilith, I wonder if you have something better to plug in besides Lilith. I think you do when we get a little bit further into the account, but we'll see. And then Ayaka for support. Good call there. Okay, you have a dark team that you're working on. Joker's in here, and like Joker's it. You should definitely keep building up Shadow Links just to clear dark selection at some point, and she's a top tier PvE unit in general. So keep building her up. But okay, you got the Joker, good stuff there. And here you go. Here's your favorited units. There's your girl, Elshra. Yeah, in fact, you could plug Elshra into that first team that we saw, and I think she'd do more for you than Lilith. But if you just like Lilith player, that's fantastic. Working on Jiza for the Bells and Black Rose Helena. Great choices here for Black Rose Helena for the TMR and the unit. That's phenomenal. And then all the Persona 5 units. You're building them all. Keep working on them. They're all good. Makoto as well, also good. Keep building them up. If we go element by element, I see a 120 Y'shtola, well done there, and there's your Lilith. So I'd say you're chilling with fire for now. You've got Y'shtola. I'd wait and focus on your other elements for now. You picked up a Velis for ice. Keep building him over time. He's a top tier support unit in this game. Even in rainbow comps, his double haste move is so good and his healing is so good. Keep working on him over time from ice. For wind, you've got the Ayaka built up, and the Joom is coming along. Two good pieces to start with wind. If you wanted to become like a wind player at any point, see if you could ever catch a Winter Luartha. I think she's a top tier wind unit, and if wind's an element you want to play, that's a route you could go at some point. And it doesn't look like you have her yet. Like, you have, yeah, that'd be my thing with your wind. Earth, yeah, I would just ignore it for now. You have Eileen, she's in your account, so you're blessed. And you did 120 Mont, which is never a bad idea. For lightning, you got the Liarte. So you're a Liarte fan. This might be from back when you played before. Now, her main role in the game is running the Whimsy Shop. She can do some shenanigans in like manual PvP that's cost limited, so that's a thing. And then, you know, if you have the stuff to build up Queen, you could go ahead and do that. Otherwise, Charlotte would be the focus here. Renan's pretty good. And then, yeah, that's about it for lightning. Water, you're not worried about at all. That's fine. Continue not to worry about it. For light, now this is definitely your strong suit. And in fact, I would say you have a light roster that with the right gear, vision cards, and espers could clear content in this game by itself. Thancred Lucio, solid frontline. Have Lucio be like your tank, have Thancred be like your big DPS bruiser, and then mix in like Violet, Elshra, Sakura, or something like that. You have a nice Ayaka you could put in here to just add a little bit of healing if you were manual playing to keep them safe, something like that. I think that's a great idea. Honestly, Ayaka plus like these first four could just put in work for you. Keep working on the lock if you can, like with your barracks. Engelbert is still a top tier tank in this game, so you ever get him done, that'd be nice. So yeah, your light is looking fantastic. For your dark, it's really just Joker, right? But you are working on Black Rose Helena, which I think is a great idea, as well as Jiza. So maybe once these are done, particularly Black Rose Helena and Joker, you could at that point look to work on like one of these new dark units that's coming out, like Leela or the new Helena that's coming out pretty soon as well. Now, gear. This is where I was most impressed by your account. You clearly know like how to play the game, or at least what to focus your time in the game on, because you have more +5 gear than some whale accounts that I've reviewed. Rebel Knife, Rapier, Lion Replica, Brass Knuckle, Lohengrin. You have a Lox Dagger at +3. You're working on the Forbidden Tomb. Like, if we go to the next page, you got a Saitan at +5. This is great. Now remember, things like the Flame Tongue and the Golden Blade, there's a lot of this stuff here that you can go unlock those rooms with keys to farm more, so that could be a way to work on this. But overall, great job getting yourself some +5 weapons already. Continue to farm out gear. For your, let's go to armor next. Definitely a little bit more limited here, right? Iron Plate and Mirage Vest +5. Maybe you built these back in the day, or maybe these are like your holdover pieces of gear. Either way, not bad. Thancred's coat, don't sleep on this. It's pretty decent for now. Look for the shops. I know you only have 198 viz right now, right? You're tapped out, clearly. But there are things like Smart Coat +5s that appear in the shop from time to time that are worth picking up for 2,000 viz if you don't want to farm. But it looks like you're willing to farm. So maybe, again, look towards those key quests and see if there's anything in there that you want. For your accessories, okay, let's look at TMRs. Swiftwind Mantle, S tier tank TMR. Love it, use it on every comp. Emberlight Mantle, there's your AP regeneration. Sacred Steps, a great agility one. Once you start getting into Trust Stones a little bit, Magic String becomes very, very good for any of your magic damage dealers. Definitely build up Silver Rim Spectacles when you can. Let's continue. Jack Frost, all 55 recipes. Okay, so in general, and I don't know, maybe you don't know this, or maybe anybody who's watching doesn't know this, you want about 64 recipes. Now, it could be that you have like a +3 waiting to combine with these 55 recipes, and that would work too. So that's pretty good. Then vision cards. Again, good job here. You're basically a new player, right? You played 2 years ago and you play now. So for a new account, which is what this really is, this vision card is looking nice. Since light is your main element, I really like that you have 299 vision cards right here that would work well with light, particularly this one. Combine that with your rainbow cards. Black Rose Helena at 99, solid agility buff for your group. Fenrir 85 is nice. Continue to work on Solidus Igaion, probably Rob's vision card for mono light. I like Titan for a rainbow card. And then let's see here. Echoing Screams is never bad for like PvE especially. And then I like this level 70, gosh, I forget what this is called. It's Katone's MR card. This is a fantastic MR vision card. And MR cards in this game, if you just pulled a bunch of duplicates of them, can absolutely bridge the gap between now and when you have more level 99 UR vision cards. There's a lot of good MRs. If you can build them and you think they'd be good for you, just go for it. Like, there's the damage limit up one in here. I think it's this one. That's the rainbow damage limit up. That'll be clutch for you in PvE at some point when you get a little more built up. Yeah, the Chocobo, if you can build this, is agility, but you have Mama Helena's done already, so don't even worry about that. I do like this one. Lilith's card. Let's see here. And then Leona's Castle is another big-time gap bridger, right? The defense and spirit on there is nice. Combine that with Jume's TMR, you had a bunch of defense and spirit to a unit. Okay, and then Espers. Now, Espers, here's going to be my advice. Because, like, I'm going to guess... Well, I've already looked. But you don't have a lot of, like, level 99 Espers, right? With your current light team, I think you're approaching the point where you could start, you know, getting the stuff you need to unlock your Espers all the way by beating them in their missions. So, look for vision card step-up banners that give you on step 2 or step 4, they move it around sometimes, that select XL 100 Magicite, and put your monthly gems, you know, the gems you earn every day from, like, doing stuff, spend them on vision or on Esper experience rate up, and then invest XL Magicites into Espers. You got Bomb, which is a good, you know, cost limited one. Fenrir, keep investing in that. That's great. Arimon is a really good tank Esper. Chocobo's at 80. That'll be good for any missile unit that you get. Titan is very nice. Cactar, again, a very good cost limited Esper. Yeah, these are fine to pass on, I think, for now. Siren I use all the time. It just has a bunch of slash resist on it and it's fast. Let's see, nothing spectacular there. Behemoth and Bloody Moon are both good for MR Espers, you know, depending on what you got. And then there you go. So look for, if I was you, the next time I saw something that was a like 10 vision card guaranteed banner with like a reroll on it, I would go for that, hoping that I caught one of the big 3, Bahamut, Odin, or Dark Odin, or something like that. You kind of need more Espers, and just continue working on your vision cards and gear and leveling your units. For basically being a new player, or at least a returning player who took a year and a half off, this account is looking real nice. You're almost to that point where you can start doing in-game PvE, and very close to the point where you can start, you know, really challenging some in-game PvP stuff as well. So thank you for the support, Tharnian, and I hope you enjoyed this account review. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.